So I was like looking at my Facebook memories, and I saw that 9 years ago, Rowdy Roddy Piper had passed away on this day.
Was he born with that name?
What, Rowdy Roddy Piper?
Did he have that name since he was a kid? That is a phallic-ass name. That's like going through life being called Penis von Dixcocken or something.
Oh my god. So,
like,
Rowdy
did
Roddy
people
Piper.
call him that when he was in elementary school?
I think he just had a regular-ass Canadian name at first.
Oh, that's not a traditional Canadian name?
Well, he was Roderick Toombs.
Roderick Toombs. That sounds like... That doesn't sound as penis-y for sure.
So he was Roderick Toombs from Saskatoon.
See, he could have just got... I mean, that's a cool wrestling name. You know, it rhymes and everything.
Yeah, but, you know, they had to, you know, make him all Scottish, and then, you know, they added the piper for the bagpipes part.
Oh, of course.
So they had to make him all Scottish, and now he's Rowdy Roddy Piper.
I mean, you know they probably put those three names together specifically because it sounds so dickly. They couldn't just call the man fucking the Cockmaster or whatever. They had to, like, be covert about it.
It was the 1980s, you know? Like, wrestling was a little bit more PG back then, you know? So he was Rowdy Roddy Piper. I know you think of Rod and Piper, and you're like, yeah, laying some pipe.
Yeah, laying some pipe with my rod, because I'm rowdy. Yeah.
But whenever, I don't know, when I was a kid, I knew what rowdy meant. I didn't know what a piper was. I didn't realize that they were referring to the whole Scottish bagpipes and all that until, like, I was older, and I was like, God, I'm so dumb. But, yeah. So.
I didn't know that until you just said it a minute ago. Literally. I still say there needs to be, like, a porno version of WWE where, like, everybody's just naked and, like, they do more than just fight each other.
I mean, they already have that. It's called wrestling fetish gay porn. What? You've never seen that? Oh my god.
I mean, I have, but it doesn't have the
production value.
Yeah, it doesn't have the energy, you know? It's got to have the fucking pyrotechnics and the music and the crowd. There's definitely got to be the crowd. There's got to be thousands of people there watching. You know,
like, and look, he's getting spit roasted off the turnbuckle. Like,
yes, exactly. There's got to be commentary.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, could you imagine?
High production wrestling porn.
Like, instead of doing the spear, everybody will be doing the strap-on or something. Oh my god. You know? Instead of getting, like, DDT'd, they'll get DVDA'd or whatever. Yeah,
but what about if someone jumps off the turnbuckle and someone's schlong gets, like, you know, bent at a 90-degree angle?
Shit happens. You know? God. You want to fucking Stone Cold's knee your schlong? That's up to you.
Oh, God.
If somebody's, like, knee could get bent in wrestling and nobody fucking bats an eye at that, then there shouldn't be any extra expectation for porno wrestling to protect the
oh my god. You've been thinking too hard about the logistics and the rule set of porno wrestling.
What if I
have? All right, anyway. Sabrina's, you know.
Oh my god, could you imagine how much money that would make?
You know, porno does pull in a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're just trying to make...
And you could have all these weird, like, fucking love triangles and shit, and
so
like...
you want it to have the whole storyline, to not just have, like, you know, like, dick and hole. You want there to be, like, you know, story and soap opera and fucking...
Yes! I want to see Rhea Ripley put a fucking ball gag on Dominic Mysterio and fucking spank him with a riding crop until he cries.
That's specific, but, you know, I think you just want to see Rhea Ripley with the riding crop.
And her tits out, but, you know.
All right, so every time that we've been watching wrestling, you've been thinking about this. I see that twinkle in your eye.
Not every time. No, okay, now there are some wrestlers that... I probably would not let participate in my all-nude, triple X-rated
like
adult.
Brock Lesnar?
Yeah, no, he seems like a fucking wall puncher. I probably wouldn't let him in.
What about Seth Rollins?
Seth Rollins, yes.
Absolutely. Seth Rollins is invited to the porno fucking wrestling shoot.
Fuck yeah. You know, Cody Rhodes is invited to the cookout. Seth Rollins is invited to the
porno shoot.
Balls to the wall porno wrestling.
All right. What about... Oh my God. What about Sheamus? Is Sheamus invited to the
I don't want to think about that.
Do you think the carpet matches the drapes?
I don't want to think about that. I think it'll look like an earthworm, and that'll make me want to vomit.
He does look like he's been carved out of cream cheese with like some red food coloring, thrown on there, and dumped in a Speedo. Well, I mean, okay, so who else are you going to be inviting to the... Okay, so does that mean Dominic Mysterio is invited to the porno shoot, but only if he gets riding propped and pegged?
But only if he's a bottom. As in real life.
Oh my God. All right, what about McIntyre?
Yes, Drew McIntyre, he's invited.
All right, what about CM Punk?
We got to have something for the Bears,
Oh, yeah. What about CM Punk?
CM Punk? We got to have something for the Otters.
All right, so we got CM Punk, and we got Drew McIntyre. All right, Damian Priest?
Yes, absolutely. Damian Priest is invited.
All right, Jey Uso?
Jey Uso is definitely invited.
All right, what about Chad Gable?
Chad Gable...
Or does he have
sit in the corner and jerk off?
I was about to say, or does he have the Dominic Mysterio clause? All right, what about Otis?
Otis? Oh yeah, Otis is invited. That man deserves it.
Putting up with Chad Gable's shit for so long. Okay. All right, so we have this fucking like porno shoot. Is this going to be like everything happens in the ring and they have the Jumbotron?
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh my God. So you're going to go.
They got their entrance music, except they strip when they come out.
Oh my God. It's what's funny is I can tell how hard you've been thinking about this.
Hi, my name is Sabrina, and after I'm done recording this, I'm going to the black metal show.
My name is Matt, and after I'm finished recording this, I too am going to go to the black metal show.
And this is
Sumo Punx.
It's great. Because we are true cult.
Yeah, so we're going to go see I can't even pronounce this band's name. It's IZTHMI. Is the Me? Something like that. They're from Seattle, and then there's Inverted Candles, and I think they're from the Mid-City somewhere.
Nice.
Dusk Seeker, that one-man black metal project that we saw that one time. I'm going to wear my Dusk Seeker shirt. I'm going to be that guy going to see the... dude. Going to wear the shirt of the guy I'm going to go see.
Are you going to wear your gauntlets?
Oh my God, I forgot I have those. Holy shit, yes.
And your knee-high leather boots?
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Nice. Anyway, there's going to be fucking dungeon synth and black metal, and I have corpse paint in the closet. But
yeah, I think we could probably skip the corpse paint. Nobody really does corpse paint anymore.
Except for whenever we went and saw Mormon Mincers, and there was that one like high school kid jumping around in his corpse paint.
Yeah, that one kid. We salute you, that one kid.
I've seen other random kids though, just with random corpse paint at like non-black metal shows. I think I even saw a couple whenever we saw Hong Kong Fuck You Too.
Go to the fucking gangster rap show in your fucking corpse paint.
Hey man, what do you think fucking goddamn
That's where ICP came from.
Or Anybody Killer. I was about to say ABK. He was a native guy and he wore a lot of like the Juggalo face paint.
Well, that's what we're doing today, but why don't you tell our listeners about the upcoming sumo events?
All right, so outside of the world of black metal, and then getting into actual sumo. All right, so coming up this weekend, August 2nd and 3rd, the second annual Harvest Days Sumo Open. There will be a seminar with Yama on August the 2nd, with the tournament itself being held on August the 3rd. The Yama seminar is free to all competitors, but to sign up for the tournament, there is a $55 sign-up fee. And word round the campfire is that there are cash prizes.
I'm glad that there's more cash prizes being handed out in U.S. amateur sumo these days.
Pretty badass. Also happening this weekend on August 3rd and 4th, the Scottish Sumo Open in Glasgow. Woo! I know Scott Finley's been working his ass off trying to make this happen. The first one that happened last year was badass. He's trying to make this one eclipse the first one. And I for as much work as he's been putting into it, I'm confident it's going to be really badass. So we're going to be keeping an eye out for that live stream. And then September 6th through 8th, the Sumo World Championships.
Yeah.
So I know I'm butchering this name. Krotoshin in Poland? I don't know. It's Polish. I don't speak the Polish. I tried. I just can't. Anyway, so that's Worlds. We'll be spamming live stream links for this as soon as we get them. So just keep an eye on our social media. We will make sure everyone can watch Worlds.
Hell yeah.
Then October the 5th is the Swiss Sumo Open. It's in Rennes. Is it Rennes or Rennes?
Probably Rennes.
Something like that. Anyway, Rennes in Switzerland. And it's going to be on October 5th. It's going to be badass. We saw the live stream of the Swiss Sumo Open last year. And it was so much just wild shit happened. It was a damn good tournament. Definitely worth watching. All right, October 11th through 12th. Sumo Dance Olympia Sumo Championship. This is going to be in Las Vegas at the Las Vegas Convention Center, 3150 Paradise Road. Women's divisions are on October 11th. Men's divisions are on October 12th. Registration's $52.50. And last year, they did not have a live stream, but they did recordings. So what happened last year was there was a lot of music being played at the event. And, I mean, you could hear freaking Metallica and Megadeth and a bunch of, basically
stuff that
copyrighted
can get you demonetized on YouTube.
Yeah.
Or just kicked off of YouTube.
So they're probably not going to live stream it unless someone, one of the competitors or, one of their, folks decides to live stream it. It's probably not going to have the music or any sound, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, and if I'm wrong about any of that, someone please tell me and send me live stream links because that'd be fucking awesome.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, October the 26th, the Consulates Cup. This is going to be at Dreamland in Dripping Springs, Texas. Same as always. You can sign up at darkcirclesumo.com. This will be in conjunction with the Otaku Food Festival. So I think the tournament itself has tickets, where the tickets for, I think spectator tickets are they $20? $10, $20, somewhere around there.
I probably should have looked that up before we started recording.
Yeah, whatever. But you could probably find that at darkcirclesumo.com.
Hey.
But anyway, so there's going to be ticket prices for spectators, and there is going to be $20 per weight class for competitors. And if you want to keep track of any of the other sumo events coming up, you can go to sumo411.com, which is curated by Kellyanne Ball, and she kicks everyone's ass.
That's literally true. She does.
Yeah.
kick everyone's ass. All right, so that's what's going on in the world of amateur sumo. Let's take a look at this week 2 of the Nagoya Basho. One little bit of news that I happened to come across right before we started recording is that apparently there's been a lot of ex-Miyagi-No guys retiring lately.
Yeah, but there's a couple of the guys that have retired recently haven't competed in like the last couple tournaments too.
I saw that too. Yeah, I'm wondering what the motivation is.
Well, they wanted to be part of Hakuho's stable, and now they're not part of Hakuho's stable. They're part of Isegahama. And Hakuho's not their oyakata anymore. He's just a coach now. And then, that's all under Isegahama. They're all squeezed. Okay, Isegahama's a huge fucking stable anyway, right?
Yeah.
They have so many dudes. And Miyagi Yamato had a pretty decent sized chunk of dudes, and now they're all having to fucking squeeze into, that bill. I'm sure everyone's miserable. I'm sure it sucks, for all the lower ranked Miyagi-Do guys and all the lower ranked Isegahama guys having to share whatever room they could find. I'm sure it sucks having to make all the food because you have to make more food. And, by the time the younger guys get to eat, there's probably nothing left, or there's, it's probably just all broth.
Yeah.
So I get it, that sucks. And what really sucks is, these guys, the fucking Rikishi are paying the price for all of the fucking drama that's, going on with the Oyakatas.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter whose side you're on if you think Hakuho's getting screwed over, which, in a way he really is. And if you're on, the other side of the coin where you think that Hakuho wasn't paying, enough attention to his charges and, allowed that bullying to take place, which happened.
Both can be true at once.
That's what I was about to say.
Somebody can make mistakes, but then not deserve to be punished as harshly as what it looks like is happening now.
Exactly. I mean, it's just, to me, it just looks like it's that whole fucking thing where those guys think that, he's Mongolian, he doesn't know what it is to, conduct himself, and aside from doing sumo for over 20 years.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, man. It reeks of jealousy. I could be wrong, though, but it really does seem like they just are pissed off that he was just so good and nobody could beat him.
You may be right.
I think that might be seasoning some of this sentiment. But then again, we don't see what's going on behind closed doors. We don't see, maybe Hakuho is being a total ass to someone. Maybe Isegahama is the one being bullied. You never know. But I highly doubt that.
True. Speaking of Isegahama, folks, let's take a little look at Juryo to begin with. Takeru Fuji actually ended up dropping back out of the Basho on day 10. He was only there for, I think, day 8 and 9, right?
Yeah.
And he won both of his matches that he fought on those days. So I think what he was trying to do was just get a few wins under his belt while he's kind of still in the healing process so that he wouldn't get dropped down to Makushita, and he can hopefully come back during the next tournament still in Juryo.
That's what I'm hoping. If he could come back next tournament in Juryo, I'm confident he could either stick in Juryo and stay a Sekitori for as long as he needs to finish healing, or if he's already all the way healed by then, maybe he could start climbing back up to Makuuchi again.
Here's hoping. As far as the rest of Juryo, I really wanted to talk about the events of Day 15 just because it was so exciting. We went into Day 15 with Shishi and Shirokuma at the top of the leaderboard, both with 11 wins and 3 losses, followed very closely by Hakuoho at 10 wins and 4 losses. And what a spectacular Senshuraku these boys had. Oh my god. Fucking Hakuoho, he goes up against Shishi. Delicious meat smack at the Tachiai, like 2 wet fish corpses being slapped together for sheer amusement. They both get grips on each other's mawashis, but Shishi is able to back Hakuoho to the edge. Hakuoho then Ucharis the fuck out of Shishi. Of course, they had like a short mono-ii, but it was pretty clear this was Hakuoho's win. So they're both sitting there quietly trying to curse Shirokuma into losing his bout against Toki Hayate, which is scheduled to be the last bout of the day, because if he loses this, it would trigger a 3-way playoff. Shirokuma must just be too blessed by the sumo gods or something. Because he quickly dispatches Toki Hayate, much to the disappointment of Hakuoho and Shishi and Toki Hayate, who had just been handed his Makekoshi by the fearsome polar bear.
See, like so much could have happened, but nope, Shirokuma just had to go and be good at sumo.
I know.
Where does he get off?
Yeah, the nerve, the audacity. That's funny because we're recording this on Audacity. Never mind. Okay.
God damn it.
Going now into Makuuchi, Day 10. If you missed it, we did cover Days 1 through 9 in our last episode.
With Rick?
Along with Rick Garza of Dallas Sumo Club, so go check that out and then come right back if you need to. Going into Day 10, we have Teruno Fuji in the lead, followed by Koto Sakura, and curiously, Hiradoumi.
Old churro.
The first notable bout that we have for day 10 is Wakataka Kage versus Midori Fuji. Midori Fuji gets Wakataka Kage to the edge, but Wakataka Kage slips to the left as Midori Fuji charges forward. Midori Fuji then squats and braces himself at the Tawara, and Wakataka Kage spins and attempts a pushdown from behind, precariously balancing himself. Midori Fuji is then able to get back up and spin around, but not fast enough to avoid Wakataka Kage pushing him out.
That was pretty freaking exciting, and it's cool to see Wakataka Kage back in action, like kicking ass like he was a couple years ago.
Hell yeah. I also like seeing people having, like, that really good ring sense where they know they're up against the Tawara and they know they're supposed to, you know, act a certain way in order to not lose their balance. Of course, it doesn't work all the time, especially, you know, if you're in the thick of it and depending on who your opponent is. But to
just kind of sense that you're getting pushed up to the bales and then just be able to plant that foot just to wedge yourself, you know, against the Tawara.
Yeah, and the way that Midori Fuji was kind of wedging himself, even though he did get pushed out, I don't know, that was fun to watch for me. The human body is so fascinating.
Yeah.
We then have Meisei versus Matakayumi. Meisei drives Matakayumi to the edge. Matakayumi does a little Tawara dancing while grabbing Meisei's arm and thrusts him out. Again, nice edge work there.
Edgelord.
Yeah, Matakayumi, the edgelord. We then had Wakamoto Haru versus Hiradoumi, who has been doing fabulously this
Hiradoumi was amazing this basho. It was just so fucking cool just to see him just go all out. And he did. He threw his whole entire self into his sumo this whole tournament.
I've always been a fan of Hiradoumi, and I am so glad to see him kind of, you know, really getting into his groove over these last few tournaments. So Hiradoumi's Tachiai was so fast and so aggressive that Wakamoto Haru had absolutely no time to react. Hiradoumi thrusts him to the edge and then pulls him down within the span of, like, literally 2 seconds.
Like, if you count 1001, 1002,
exactly.
And then boom.
Exactly. Just amazing. His Tachiai has gotten so fast and so powerful. Then we also had Abi versus Takakeisho for day 10. More fancy footwork on the Tawara. Takakeisho blasts Abi to the edge, but Abi manages to keep his foot on the Tawara while Takakeisho falls to the clay. The Gyoji gives the win to Takakeisho, and of course a mono-e is called, resulting in a reversal of the Gyoji's decision, and the win goes to Abi because Takakeisho's hand hit the clay first.
Oh.
Then we're just going to go right into day 11 here. Day 11 was pretty cool. We had some rare Kimari-te on that day. I'm going to start us off with Indo versus Kinbozan. Indo shifts to the left at the Tachiai. Kinbozan gets a grip on Indo's mawashi and tries for a throw, with Kimbo's right leg firmly planted between Indo's legs. Indo gets a grip on the front and the back of his mawashi. They swing each other around for a bit until Indo gets his left leg behind Kinbozan. He is then able to tip Kinbo backward for a kiri kaeshi, twisting backward knee trip.
I only ever really see, like, Tobizaru bust out, you know, Kiri Kaeshi, or like the, what's the other one, Kekaeshi? There's like all of these different leg trips that I always see Tobizaru pissing off Teruno Fuji using. But it's so cool to see, like, you know, like these sweeps just, you know, like, because rarely, you know, everyone's always into Oshidashi, Yorikiri, you know, it's very rare that you see when someone sweeps somebody else.
We then had Kotozakura versus Kirishima. Kirishima, doing the kind of stuff we like to see him do in this bout, gets an underhanded grip on the right side of the Ozeki's mawashi, and he just lifts and pushes his very large opponent out without too much struggle. Kirishima has a history, though, of finding Kotozakura's weak spots.
He really does.
So it was nice to see him have, at least a few good bouts this this Basho, especially considering how it ended for him.
Yeah, but it's always funny. One of the things I liked about Kirishima's style of sumo is that he knows how to read his opponent by applying pressure. And then he finds like the best spot to apply that pressure and then just shoves him on out. I wish I had that pressure sense.
We then had Abi versus Hoshoryu. Abi goes right for the face at the Tachiai, like Abi do. He's got the Ozeki up against the bales. Haas takes advantage of Abi's aimless flailing by ensnaring his right arm like a mantis capturing its prey, then tosses him to the clay. This was a Sata Totari arm bar throw counter.
Wow, Sata Totari. That's fucking cool.
Not a regular Totari, a Sata Totari. We then ended day 11 with Terunofuji versus Ono Sato. Terunofuji leans too far forward, and Ono Sato appears to kind of pull on his right arm to get his momentum going. Unable to regain his balance, Teru falls flat on his face, losing for the first time this tournament. And the Zabutons start flying like missiles, exploding Teru's chance at a Zinsho Yusho. And out of the 3 times these two have fought, Ono Sato has actually won 2 of those. The only loss against Terunofuji that he has was his first ever Basho in Makuuchi back in January.
I wonder if that was just nerves, and he was just like, oh my god, it's a Yokozuna. And now he's like, man, fuck that motherfucker, I'm gonna kick his ass now.
I also wonder if maybe the sample size is just too small,
Yeah.
Like 3 times meeting in the dohyo, you can't really measure too much of how these guys are going to fare against each other. Once it gets to, I think 5 or more.
Yeah, you got 7 or 8 bouts against each other, you kind of start to see,
Yeah. All right, going into day 12, I'm going to go ahead and hand that over to you.
All right. Day 12, we're going to start off the first notable bout with Koto Shoho versus Shodai. Koto Shoho gets Shodai to the edge, but then Shodai resists and they struggle around the dohyo for a bit. Koto Shoho tries again to push Shodai out, but Shodai goes for a throw. The Gyoji gives the win to Koto Shoho, but then a Monoi is called. They determine the top of Koto Shoho's foot touched the inside of the dohyo at the same moment that both Shodai's feet passed the Tawara while he flew through the air. The judges call for a Torinaoshi rematch. Shodai then destroys Koto Shoho with the beautiful Owatanage, gaining his Kachikoshi.
Hell yes!
Lord of Chaos!
Picture perfect. Oh my god. And I really agree with that decision too, because it literally did happen at the exact same moment. So the more we learn about the dead body rule, also known as Shinitai, the more we kind of understand these weird decisions that the judges make sometimes. So one of the things we know is that if both of your feet are in the air, but on the outer side of the Tawara, then that could potentially be a loss for you. Maybe not every time. It depends on the situation. Or if the top of your foot touches the clay, that could also potentially be a loss for you. And it just so happened that those 2 things did happen simultaneously in that first bout. But the rematch, man, that fucking...
Shodai wouldn't have
that
it.
Uwatanage was so beautiful.
All right, next we have Midori Fuji versus Oho. Oho gets a loose arm lock off the Tachiai, which Midori Fuji quickly slips out of. Midori Fuji tries a Katasukashi, but Oho is able to keep his balance. Midori Fuji then tries to muscle the larger Rikishi around. They lock up in the center for a moment. Then Oho locks up Midori Fuji's arms and escorts him out, but Midori Fuji really gave him a run for his money. I mean, Oho's a big dude, I mean, he's a whole lot of Rikishi, but Midori Fuji does not give a shit about that. You know, he's just gonna fight, with everything he has. So But honestly, I could kind of see it going the other way. Midori
I thought it was at first. I thought Midori Fuji had that one.
But it just goes to show that it looks like Oho's just kind of starting to feel his sumo a little bit more here recently.
Yeah, he's kind of, I think, going the same route as Hiradoumi. He's starting to really find his niche in Makuuchi.
Yeah. And then the next notable bout is Wakamoto Haru versus Tobizaru. So after losing the last 10 times they fought, Tobizaru finally wins on his 10th try.
Yay!
So he gave Wakamoto Haru his Makekoshi. And so that was kind of hard to watch because, I want to root for the hard dude, Wakamoto hard dude. And then, Tobizaru usually, he's another Lord of Chaos. I won't say that I dislike Tobizaru, but sometimes I'm like, really? You want it that way? Really?
Oh, he was rightly chuffed by finally...
I know. On the 10th
finally
try.
Winning against
that
Wakamoto
look on his
Haru.
face, though. He's like, yeah, I'm Tobizaru. Oh, and then Kirishima then gives Atami Fuji his Makekoshi on that day.
Back-to-back Makekoshis.
That was sad. Next was Kotozakura versus Hoshoryu. So after trying 6 times over the last several basho, Haas finally beats the double stack Ozeki, knocking him out of the Yusho race. So Kotozakura gets a double inside grip, but Hoshoryu simply wraps his right arm around the back of Kotozakura's neck and wraps his right leg around Kotozakura's left and dumps him out of the dohyo with the kubinage. It almost kind of looked like he was trying to do, what do you call that? The kakenage, because he had that little leg, the leg, helping to lift him up too. But he did have a hold of the head, so,
So did Haas get some sort of ouchie in this bout?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Is that why he dropped out on day 13?
Yeah, he did something bad to his hip. I mean, when you're trying to lift a dude that fucking huge, and using your leg as a counterbalance, that's... He did lift his leg pretty high. You could kind of see it, look weird. At the very end of that throw, his leg didn't look right.
I'll have to go back and watch the footage because, he did end up dropping out on day 13. We're going to go ahead and go into day 13 now. We have Chiyoshima versus Dayamami. This was actually the first bout of the day. Great first bout for Makuuchi on day 13. Just some really good sumo by Chiyoshima. He meets Dayamami head-on at the Tachiai, tries for a pull-down. That doesn't work. So he ends up getting pushed back to the Tawara, expertly bracing himself from falling backward. As Dayamami realizes the fight isn't over, Chiyoshima quickly jumps back in. He gets a good double grip on the big man's belt and drives him out for good old-fashioned Yorikiri.
Yeah.
Just some good fundamental ass sumo from Chiyoshima.
Hell yeah.
Love to see it. We then have Midori Fuji versus Sadanumi. This bout featured picture perfect Uwatanage. Picture perfect. The one with Shodai, yes, was very good, but this one, I was literally trying to find the pictures that were taken during that moment online, because you see all the cameras flashing around the dohyo.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I couldn't find the perfect one that I know exists out there somewhere, but I will eventually. So Midori Fuji hits and shifts to the left. He starts trying to drive Sadanumi, but Sadanumi grabs his right arm and then escapes. They briefly lock up until Sadanumi starts chugging Midori Fuji toward the Tawara. Once at the edge, both Rikishi's feet go flying into the air, and the win goes to Sadanumi.
Oh, Sadanumi.
Final notable bout on day 13 is Meisei versus Atami Fuji. Meisei had Atami Fuji up against the bales almost right away. We watched Atami Fuji bracing himself against the Tawara for what really seemed like an uncomfortably long time until he's able to start kind of inching his way to the left. He pulls Meisei closer to the Tawara until he's the one bracing against it, and then just starts humping the ever-living shit out of him until the exhausted Meisei is finally out. Atami Fuji's got that really good hump.
It's just funny you just call it a hump.
He does, man. He really knows how to chug it. Just some other notes I wanted to go over from day 13. It was a pretty eventful day. Wakataka Kage and Hiradoumi also met in the ring for the first time on day 13, and I was curious to see how that would turn out, but Waka easily destroys Hiradoumi. Both powerful dudes who did really well in this Basho, though. Daieisho and Tsurunoumi also fought for the first time on day 13, and through some fancy footwork, Tsurunoumi gains his 10th win by Okuridashi. Abi was also able to pick up a surprising Yorikiri win against Kotozakura, and poor Takakeisho is swiftly dispatched by Terunofuji, gaining a Makekoshi, losing his Ozeki rank in the next tournament.
Well, if he could get 10 next tournament.
So he's going to be bumped down to Sekiwaki, and if he can get double-digit wins at the September tournament, he can get his Ozeki back. But can he do it? Because Kirishima was not able to do it.
I think Kirishima is just fighting. He was just fighting injured. I think if he was able to just, have one tournament to kind of, one tournament without the risk of going Kataban to really just heal,
Oh, we're going to talk about that a little later on.
Okay.
Why don't you go ahead and give us the deets for day 14?
All right. The first notable bout of day 14 was Kageyaki versus Midori Fuji. And it's just because it looked like a Mutt and Jeff battle. So the taller Kageyaki had a rough time aiming his thrusts to hold the pit bull at bay. Midori Fuji was agile and mobile, while the lumbering Kageyaki struggled to keep up. Midori Fuji kept closing the gap no matter how hard the lumbering giant kept trying to create distance. Midori Fuji unbalanced Kageyaki with an Otsuke and drove him out with an inside position to score his Kachikoshi with an Oshidashi win. That was a fun bout to watch. I love that one. Next notable bout was Wakataka Kage versus Oho. So this is the first meeting of these Rikishi from illustrious powerhouse legacies.
Oh, yeah.
So Wakataka Kage continues his revenge tour / comeback. Oho tries to slap down and swings his leg as a counterbalance. So Wakataka Kage counters this by grabbing the leg that he swung. So he's like holding him by his knee and then just pushed his big ass out. He grabs him by the knee and by the side, kind of pushes him towards the Tawara, then just pushes on his gut and just gut pushes him out.
And this is why I always tell our folks at Kurowashi, try to keep your feet on the ground as much as possible.
Yeah.
Because somebody will do that kind of shit to you in the ring.
They will. They will. All right, the next notable bout we had was Matakayumi versus Hiradoumi. Matakayumi had been getting wins against a couple of my guys, and it was pissing me off. So Hiradoumi got a left shitate grip right at the tachiai and goes for a slap down, but it looks like Matakayumi is just too high up for that. So not one to be discouraged. He, turns it from, just having his hand on the back, of Matakayumi's head to try and slap him down to just pushing against his face, so he's
hell yeah.
Just smashing the shit out of his face. And then he just kind of, once his balance was off, he just grabbed his belt and just did a quick hop, just hopped his ass out.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. I just love watching Hiradoumi's brain work and strategize in real time as he's fighting. Especially someone like Matakayumi, who is obviously getting his groove back. But nope, he got shut down by Hiradoumi.
Yeah, he's got the strength and the strategy.
Hell yeah. So he gave Matakayumi his Makekoshi on that one. And then other notes that I had, I always put just kind of weird stuff in parentheses at the end of my notes. So Tsurunoumi never stood a chance against Onosato. I think it was Ross Mihara that was the English commentator. So Ross Mihara tried to set this up to be an epic struggle, but my nephew Onosato just used some good old-fashioned push-moshing to shove Churro out. And it was kind of sad to see Takakeisho not even try against Kotozakura and just get kind of escorted out. But he might be in pain, poor guy.
Yeah, well, he's obviously not doing well.
All right, and then the last notable bout that I have listed on here for day 14 is Teruno Fuji versus Takanosho, the Knob Dog.
The Knob Dog.
And it's in our notes in all caps as the Knob Dog.
Every time you reference Takanosho in these notes, it's all caps, Knob Dog.
That's who he is. He's
but anyway, continue.
All right, so the Knob Dog did it again. He beat Big T-Bird in March, and he did it again. He hit Terunofuji at the Tachiai with a brutal Nodowa and lifted the huge Mongolian with ease. He stayed under him in a low stance and crafted a beautiful attack to secure his victory. Zabuton cushions went flying everywhere and even hit the poor Knob Dog in the head.
Aww.
All right, so we're moving right along to day 15. So we're moving on to Oshoma versus Ichi Yamamoto. Nana Sho, Nana High battle, both Rikishi at 7 and 7. So Ichi let loose a barrage of Supari that seemed to spook Oshoma. He turned to the side, which allowed Ichi to get his back and push him out from behind. Okuradashi victory. It's not so fun when they fight back, is it, Oshoma?
Yeah.
Next, we have Takanosho versus Onosato. The Knob Dog still has fire in his eyes and lightning shooting out of his ass. He did the same thing he did to Big T-Bird. Hit with the Nodowa at the Tachiai and lifted my nephew. He sunk his hips and pushed him over the bells for his 12th win. If Kotozakura beats Terunofuji, then there will be a playoff. So let's check in on that. The next bout, we got Terunofuji versus Kotozakura. So Teru clamped the arms of Pancakes right at the Tachiai, but Kotozakura wrenched an arm free, looked like he was trying to go Makikai, to execute a slapdown on the Yokozuna. I was not expecting that. I saw that Kimadashi and I was like, oh, death grip. He's gone. Nope.
Playoff time.
So the playoff for the Emperor's Cup, we have Big T-Bird, Terunofuji, Pizza Hut guy. You cannot out Pizza the Hut. And then we got Takanosho, the Knob Dog, Eyebrows of Power. So Teru was ready for that Nodowa this time. He knew it was coming. The Knob Dog got his grip and started his attack, but Terunofuji dismantled this attack, pivoted his position to put the Knob Dog's back to the bales. Terunofuji did what he does best and pushed Takanosho over, securing his 10th Yusho win, solidifying his title as Dai Yokozuna Terunofuji.
Yay!
He did it. He got his 10th Yusho win, his double-digit Yusho. So he is now to be addressed as Dai Yokozuna.
Man, I want whatever drugs they were feeding Terunofuji this basho.
You want some perks?
Whatever the fuck it was, I need me some of that.
Perkino-Fuji?
Oh, man. As far as special prizes, I'll go ahead and give the rundown of that now. We had the Shukunsho Outstanding Performance Prize going to Onosato, your nephew.
Yep.
We had the Kanto Show Fighting Spirit Prize going to Takanosho, the Knob Dog. And then the Gino Show Technique Prize going to
Gino Show
Hiradoumi. Yay. And this is also how I found out that he was born on 420. When I was looking up the special prizes, I came across his date of birth, and yeah.
Does that mean
good job blazing it, Hiradoumi.
That means he's a Taurus, right?
I think so.
Wow. Just like
he's
my mom.
He's got a Taurus face.
I was about to say,
he's got a face like your mom.
I was about to say, he does look like he could be like related to my mom.
He's like a guy version of your mom.
Oh my god, don't say that.
That's it. Hiradoumi's just your mom now.
No!
Yeah. Hiradoumi's your mama. I was going to say something gross about sucking on titties, but good. I'm not going to.
Good. Don't say that.
So, about Hiradoumi, though, you know Mayanumi, the NHK commentator?
Yeah, he was the old giant slayer from back in the day.
Yeah, he actually had to publicly apologize for saying that Hiradoumi's style wasn't good for someone his size. So Hiradoumi's just been proving him wrong left and right.
Yeah, because Hiradoumi is... So Mayanumi was the original... Well, not even the original, but, he was a giant slayer back in his day.
Yeah.
He was the guy that put the fucking silicone under his scalp so that he could meet the height requirement to get into Ozu.
That guy's always saying the most ridiculous shit. He was the one that was saying the shit about, was it Ishira?
Yeah, when Ishira hurt his neck, that injury that he had after hurting his neck is...
It's like, the audience doesn't want to see that. Stand up and blah, blah, blah. It's like, you can't really stand up with a neck injury, dude.
No shit, right?
But fucking, that dude sucks. Hiradoumi rules ass.
Yeah, and as far as commentators go, give me Uncle Waka any day.
Yeah. But besides that, there is a little tidbit of news I did want to discuss after we went through all the bouts. The Yokozuna Deliberation Council is considering starting up a system of rank protection for injured Rikishi again. So this was something that they used to have in the past. There used to be a system like this, but the JSA thought people were abusing it, so they took it away. This is, I believe, back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Apparently, the decision to re-examine the system was spurred by the poor performance of Takakeisho and Kirishima specifically. Of course, knowing how the JSA works, we're probably not going to see any changes for at least the next 3 to 4 years. If they do implement it.
They should, man. I just really wish they would get like I wish there was some young upstart kids in like college or something that like, because whenever I was in college, and one of the reason that I majored in anthropology was because I wanted to undermine it.
Yeah.
You know, because when I grew up, and I know there's a lot of other indigenous kids out there that when they grew up, they were just weirdo anthropologists that would come into their communities and ask the elders weird stuff, ask them weird stuff, and then write a paper about it and be like, you came to that conclusion? What the hell is wrong with you? Were you here in this community?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I kind of wanted to, undermine anthropology, so that's why I majored in it. And then I just kind of became a part of the, what do you call that? I guess they say postmodern anthropology, which instead of having Western academics study these people and say, oh, here's what I learned, it's pretty much letting the people that are being, quote, studied speak for themselves in their own voice and kind of explain shit. And I like that. I love that. So the reason I'm saying this is I really wish that there would be some of these radical-minded kids in Japan would go into Ozumo and start to change things. You know, but some of it's already happening.
The Rikishi.
Well, some of it's already starting to happen. I mean, we got, oh God, what was his name? Was it Nakamura? Oh God, I can't remember.
Sure.
But anyway, there's a new Oyakata out there that is now saying, no, there's going to be breakfast. I know Kisei no Sato said he was going to serve breakfast, but this other dude is making a bigger deal about serving 3 meals instead of 2. And,
for the folks who don't know, the pro Rikishi typically do not eat breakfast. They wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and immediately start training for hours on end.
So it's cool to see that they're putting like a little bit more sports science, like into, into
a little more science in general. I mean, come on.
But I think that's cool. Sports medicine and sports science, these boys really need that shit, in order to keep doing sumo, especially if they're going to be in it for the long haul, like 20 years, like Hakuho.
They need people who know how to make logical decisions that are evidence-based.
Yeah, but, we got like all of these... If someone put it this way, that there's a bunch of high school dropouts with CTE brain damage.
In charge of everything, and that's why things don't get better fast enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's kind of a harsh way to put it, but I mean, I really do think that there should be some, and I know Japan loves a hierarchy.
Yeah.
But I really do think that young people should not be dismissed simply because they're young. And I don't think that young people should be, that their wisdom or their capacity for wisdom should be dismissed. Because oftentimes young people can see things that us older folks don't always have the perspective to see, or we might be just too ingrained into our own way. We've just been doing things our own way or a certain way for so long that we just can't see anything outside of it.
Right.
So I really hope that some of these young people with radical ideas could integrate those into pro sumo. So maybe 20 years from now.
Infiltrate the JSA.
Yeah, make the JSA something better.
Unionize the Rikishi.
And you old fogies in the JSA, listen to the younger guys. Just because they're young doesn't mean they're stupid. Just because they're young doesn't mean that what they have to say and their ideas don't have some sort of worth.
Exactly.
End rant.
I think that's the end of the episode, actually. So I'm
going to go out and be old at the black metal show.
Same. If you want to find more of our content, we are all over the different podcasting platforms. We are also on YouTube. Go to the YouTube, listen to the podcast there if you want, or watch the other videos that we have pertaining mostly to amateur sumo, but sometimes pro sumo stuff as well. If you like this episode, give it a 5-star rating. It helps other people find it and enjoy it as well. We do have 2 online shops, one on Redbubble and one on TeePublic. So if you want a shirt or a sticker, or we can't keep saying shower curtain.
Mousepad.
That's legit one of the things.
Oh, and aprons.
Aprons. A duvet cover.
Yeah, because with the aprons, I want to start cooking. The whole reason I got weird with the aprons is I want a fucking home of the, what do you call that? The house husband.
Yeah.
The way of the house husband, Shiba Inu fucking apron. So I made sure to make sure that we have aprons.
Yes, we have aprons. We're on all the social medias, the Facebooks and the Twitters and the Instagrams, and I'm hoping we can get a TikTok going soon.
Yeah. And
we're not that old. We can still use TikTok.
Yeah. Or we could still, recruit someone younger to work it for us.
All right.
Oh, and one last thing. You might have heard us talking about Kurowashi Sumo. That is the Kurowashi Sumo Collective that me and Sabrina help organize. We're on Instagram and we're on the YouTube as well. So if you go watch some of our Keiko videos on YouTube, give us a like.
All right. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.